Try this once and watch how people treat you differently. A single action, done just once, could ignite curiosity, stir emotions, and flip the social dynamic in your favor so dramatically, people would start chasing you without even realizing why. Think about it. You've walked into a room before where someone entered, and the energy shifted. No loud entrance, no dramatic gesture, just a presence, a silence that louder than words. That wasn't coincidence. That was psychological dominance in its rawest form. Picture this, you're no longer trying to get their attention. They're obsessively wondering about yours. And the best part? This isn't a fantasy. It's not manipulation. It's human psychology at work. You see, the human brain is designed to notice contrast. We're wired to detect what's out of place, what breaks the norm. So when everyone follows a script and one person silently tears it apart, without saying a word, they stand out like a flare in the night sky. And if you stay until the end, I'll show you exactly how to plant that psychological trigger deep inside anyone's mind. Let's begin with something most people never notice, the silent pattern breaker. You walk into a room, not like them, or not rushed, not loud, not eager. You become the question in the room without even opening your mouth. Your silence becomes louder than words. People notice, not because you're trying to be noticed, but because you're not trying at all. Why? Because you're not seeking their approval. You're commanding their attention. You're not in competition. You're in control. You're not desperate for validation. You're dishing out energy carefully. Now they're wondering, who is that? They're locked into the deeper question, the one that makes people obsessed. That one moment is enough to shift the entire dynamic, and that's the gateway to influence. Here's a forbidden truth: mystery is magnetic. We live in a time where people overshare. They tell you everything: what they ate, what they feel, what they want, who they miss. But mystery, that's extinct. That's gold. You don't need to be rich or famous. You just need to be unpredictable. Why? Because predictability kills desire. And when someone doesn't react the way we expect them to, it sets off mental fireworks. Suddenly, they become unforgettable. But a subtle pause before replying to a compliment, a smirk instead of a thank you, that's what makes people obsess. Because our brains are wired to chase what isn't fully available. Availability is comfort, scarcity is power, and power in the social realm doesn't come from aggression, it comes from restraint. Let me take you into a real-life example. A girl once asked a guy, "Why didn't you text me back?" Now most people would explain themselves, apologize, smooth things over, but he looked at her and calmly said, "I was busy doing something more important." Not rudely, just direct. She froze, not because she was insulted, but because she was intrigued. That one sentence screamed value, boundaries, self-respect. In that moment, he became a puzzle, a challenge, a man who wasn't bending to please, but standing firm in his purpose. And that sends a clear message to the subconscious: this man has options. And from that moment on, she chased him. She needed to reclaim that attention. Another trick? Micro-rejections. These are subtle power moves, invisible to the untrained eye, but psychologically explosive to the person on the receiving end. The next time someone flirts or tries to test you, instead of reacting with excitement, pull back slightly. Now, you flip the power. That line changes the game. Now they're on stage, they're performing, they're auditioning for your interest. They're working to impress you, and when people invest in something emotionally, they value it more. That's when the chase begins. But wait, it gets deeper. Saying no at the right moment creates obsession. Most people are addicted to yes. They want to be liked, accepted, approved. But approval is the currency of the weak. Respect comes from no, not aggressively, not with ego, but with calm certainty. Your time is valuable. Your presence is earned, not given freely, and that creates scarcity. You become different from others, and different is magnetic. Different is unforgettable. Different doesn't follow the script. Different writes it. And the human mind craves what it cannot easily access. By the way, if you're still with me, I've got something very special for you. The Sigma's Black Book of Untouchable Power. This is an elite ebook that holds the forbidden knowledge, the type of knowledge used by high-level thinkers. But this will be deleted soon. The elites don't want this out. So check the description or pinned comment right now to grab it before it's gone. Now here's a psychological bomb. The unfinished stories. We hate open loops. We hate unanswered questions. We need closure. So when you deny closure, you create mental chaos, and they can't stop thinking about you. If you disappear mid-conversation, leave a question unanswered, or simply say, "I'll tell you later," you plant a hook in their mind. People replay that moment over and over, trying to fill in the gap. That's how you live in their thoughts, rent-free. You become an unsolved mystery, a story with no ending, and that's what haunts them. That's what pulls them back in. Let's talk energy, because even without words, your energy speaks volumes. If your vibe says, "I need something from you," people run. But if your vibe says, "I don't need you, I choose you," they lean in. And that subtle difference changes everything. This is the core of magnetic energy. Not arrogance, not coldness, but detached confidence. The kind that radiates from someone who knows their worth and doesn't barter it for attention. And it's not arrogance, it's self-awareness. You understand the value you bring. You understand that presence can be more powerful than performance. You understand that withholding is sometimes more powerful than offering. By the way, if you're serious about leveling up your mindset, the 7-day Mind Mastery Challenge is where it starts. Use my code DARKMindset to get your exclusive discount and take the first step toward complete mental control. Don't wait. Your next level self is waiting. Now here's a test. Walk past someone without looking. Say nothing. Just walk. Calm, unbothered, entirely in your own world. If they turn to look back, you've already won, because you didn't chase attention. You attracted it. That's the power of controlled absence. The more you withdraw, the more they crave. These are the invisible forces that draw people in without you ever having to chase. These are the silent weapons of social mastery. The unseen gravity that pulls others into your orbit without them even knowing why. So try this once and change your energy. Pull back, walk slower, smile less, speak calmly, say no, leave questions unanswered, and just watch who starts chasing you. Now listen carefully. Dark Mindset isn't just another channel on the internet. It's a rise of power. So if you're serious about becoming powerful, subscribe now or stay weak forever. The choice is yours.